You know that feeling when your heart starts pounding, your stomach twists into knots, and your brain goes, "Nope, we're not doing this?" Yeah, that's fear. And it has this magical ability to show up exactly when you don't want it to. Right before a big presentation, when you're about to talk to someone you admire, or even when you just need to make a tough decision. But here's the thing. Running away from fear doesn't make it disappear. In fact, it does the opposite. It makes fear stronger. So today we're talking about how to overcome fear without sprinting in the other direction. No avoiding, no ignoring, no pretending it doesn't exist. Just real, practical ways to handle fear like a pro. Fear is totally normal. It's your brain's way of protecting you. Imagine your ancestors out in the wild. If they weren't afraid of the growling thing hiding in the bushes, they'd probably become its next meal. Fear kept them alive. But nowadays, fear doesn't just pop up when there's an actual danger. It shows up when you're about to take a risk, step outside your comfort zone, or face something unknown. The problem is, if we let fear control us, it stops us from doing things we actually want to do. It holds us back from new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities. That's why we need to learn how to manage fear instead of letting it run the show. So let's break this down, step by step. How do we face fear head on and win? Before we can beat fear, we need to understand it. Fear isn't just some villain trying to ruin your life. It's actually trying to help you. It's your brain's way of saying, "Hey, this might be dangerous. Be careful." But here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't always get it right. Sometimes it treats public speaking like it's a life-threatening situation. It treats asking someone out like you're about to face a lion. It overreacts because it wants to keep you safe. But safe doesn't always mean happy. Think about the last time you were really scared to do something, but you did it anyway. Maybe it was riding a roller coaster, or talking to a stranger, or even sending that risky text. At first, your brain freaked out, but once you did it, you realized, oh, that wasn't so bad. That's proof that fear isn't always telling the truth. It's just a warning signal, and we can choose whether or not to listen. Here's the mistake most people make. They think overcoming fear means jumping straight into the deep end. Like, if you're afraid of heights, just go skydiving. If you're scared of public speaking, just go do a TED Talk. Nope. That's a recipe for panic. The real way to conquer fear is gradual exposure, facing it in small, manageable steps. Imagine fear as a muscle. If you've never worked out before, you don't start by lifting 300 pounds. You start small and build up strength over time. Let's say you're terrified of speaking in front of people. Instead of forcing yourself onto a stage in front of 500 people, start by practicing in front of a mirror. Then, try speaking in front of one friend. Then a small group. Each step makes the next one easier because your brain starts to realize, wait, nothing bad is happening. Maybe I don't need to panic. And look, let's be real. Sometimes fear makes us act ridiculous. Like when you're home alone and suddenly you hear a noise in the kitchen. Your brain immediately assumes it's a serial killer, not, the wind. And what do? We freeze, holding our breath, as if the intruder is going to be like, "Oh, never mind, they're not breathing, I'll just leave." See? Fear doesn't always make sense. What if, instead of treating fear like an enemy, we started seeing it as a guide, one that points us toward growth? Imagine if every time fear crept in, instead of shrinking back, we leaned in with curiosity and thought, wait a second, what if this isn't a bad thing? What if this is actually proof that I'm about to level up? Think about it. Fear doesn't show up when you're sitting comfortably in your routine, doing the same old things you've done 100 times. It doesn't come knocking when you're binge-watching your favorite show for the 5th time, or scrolling through your phone aimlessly. No, fear arrives right at the edge of something new. It's like an overprotective friend, who panics every time you step outside your comfort zone, whispering, "Are you sure about this? This looks scary. Let's just stay here where it's safe." But here's the thing, safe doesn't always mean fulfilling. Safe doesn't always mean happy. Fear is like a signpost pointing you towards something that matters. It's proof that you're stretching, growing, stepping up to a challenge. Instead of saying, "I'm scared, so I shouldn't do this," flip it, "I'm scared, which means this must be important." The best things in life, big achievements, deep relationships, exciting opportunities, are all on the other side of fear. Every time you feel fear creeping in, take a second to ask, what's on the other side of this? What will I gain if I push through? More often than not, the answer is something worth fighting for. And here's something mind-blowing. Top performers in every field, athletes, musicians, public speakers, actors, they all feel fear. You think Olympic athletes don't get nervous before a big event. You think best-selling authors don't feel a twinge of panic before their book releases. Even the most confident people in the world feel fear. The difference is, they've learned not to take fear as a stop sign. Instead, they reframe it. Instead of saying, I'm nervous, they say, I'm excited. Because physiologically, fear and excitement are almost identical. Racing heart, sweaty palms, adrenaline rush. The only thing that changes is your interpretation. So the next time fear crashes your party, don't panic, don't push it away. Instead of saying, oh no, I'm scared, try saying, oh wow, this means I care. This means I'm growing. Let's go. Because if fear is showing up, it probably means you're on the verge of something great. Okay, so what about in the moment? When fear is right there, making your heart race and your hands shake. One of the easiest ways to calm fear is controlled breathing. Try this. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat. Slowing your breathing signals to your brain that you're safe, and it helps shut down the panic response. Another trick. Ground yourself in the present. Fear often comes from worrying about the future. What if I mess up? What if I look stupid? Instead of spiraling, focus on what's happening right now. Notice 5 things around you. Feel your feet on the ground. Bring yourself back to the present, and fear loses its grip. Sometimes, the best way to disarm fear is to laugh at it. Seriously, fear thrives on making things seem bigger and scarier than they actually are. But when you step back and find the humor in your fear, it loses its power. Ever noticed how your worst fears almost never play out the way you expect? You worry about saying something dumb in a conversation, but the other person doesn't even notice. You think tripping in public will be the most humiliating moment of your life, but people just help you up and move on. When you can laugh at your fear, when you can picture yourself nervously fumbling through a situation like a character in a sitcom, you take away its ability to control you. So next time you're afraid of something, ask yourself, what's the absolute funniest outcome that could happen? Your fear of public speaking. Picture yourself accidentally saying something hilarious and getting a standing ovation. Your fear of flying. Imagine the flight attendant making bad jokes over the intercom like a comedy show. Humor makes fear less intimidating. Fear thrives on inaction. The longer we sit with fear, the bigger it grows in our minds. The secret weapon. Taking action, even when you're scared. There's this quote that says, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. The people who seem fearless, they feel fear too. They just don't let it stop them. So here's the challenge. Whatever fear is holding you back right now, take one small step toward it today. Just one. If you're scared of talking to new people, say hi to someone. If you're afraid of starting a project, just do the first tiny step. Action shrinks fear. Every time you face it, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than it. Listen, fear is never going to disappear completely, and that's okay. The goal isn't to be fearless. It's to be brave, to feel fear but move forward anyway. So the next time fear shows up, don't run, don't hide. Acknowledge it, face it in small steps, reframe it as growth, and take action. Because on the other side of fear, that's where all the best things in life happen. Now go out there and do something brave today. You got this.